Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be checking out Aishite 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 and Show by Otto. Hey guys, before we get started with today's video, I wanted to give a shout out to today's sponsor, which is Aura, which they are a all-in-one bundled service in the form of online security. And not only do they provide an antivirus service, but they do also check a bunch of broker sites that swap all of your personal information and they wipe out all of that info. So if you've ever noticed that you've been receiving emails or phone calls that kind of seem really like scammers, that's kind of when you know that your information has been out there. And whenever I look at my own information, there's maybe like one or two sites that I can probably stand to not have my information on. So this is a good example about why we could use a service like this. And they're actually offering a 14-day free trial, which you can check out via the link below in my description or in the comments. It's aura.com/RoninMan. So like I said, it is a bundle service, so it's not just checking broker sites and helping out with antivirus software. They also do have secure VPNs. They also give you live, up-to-date fraud alerts for any of your banking or your credit cards. They even have 24/7 US-based support, and they even insure you to up to $5 million of identity theft protection. So they've really gone all out to make sure that you are covered as long as you're under their protection. So feel free to check it out. Again, it's 14 days for free. So get yourself some extra security and check out my sponsor Aura at aura.com/RoninMan and see if any of your data has been breached. Okay, so you guys have sent us a lot of comments on what to check out since our last auto reaction to Unravel. And these are the two most common songs that came up, and it really kind of takes me back because when I first started on my auto journey, you guys pretty much kind of took me through the same thing. I did Aishite and also Show, and I do remember how I felt about both of those. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little hesitant about maybe one of these choices, but I was like, you know what, you guys asked for it, so I'm gonna give it to you. So it's gonna be what it is, whatever it is. Mal, you probably kind of have not so much of an idea of what you're about to walk into.
Not even a little bit of an idea.
Yeah.
Completely clueless. We're going in here pretty fresh. So.
Yeah. And if you haven't seen our Unravel reaction, that's available now. And for the most part, you loved Otto's version.
I did. I adored it. Thought it was amazing. Fantastic. Better than the original. What? Who said that?
So if you're new to Mal, sometimes she says things and you'll agree or not agree, but it's okay. You can disagree. It's fine. I like to keep my comment section civil and everything. She does kind of come from more of a K-pop background, and so she's been kind of taking me through that world, and I've been taking her through the J-pop background. So I would definitely like to keep things nice and civil and make sure she has a good time while she's going through her J-pop journey.
You can at me, it's fine.
Bring it on!
You can add her, I guess. So yeah, we're gonna continue on with Otto, and these next two songs are gonna be a bit different from one another. So we're gonna do the live version of Aishite, and then we're gonna do a studio version of Show. Those kind of give a bit more contrasting experiences, and we'll kind of see where Mal lands with both of these. So
I'm excited.
yeah, so we'll go ahead and jump on into this. But before we do, guys, feel free to check out my memberships. They're only $1, and you get early access to these videos and also anime reactions. Okay.
Oh no.
Here we go.
Okay, this is the weird one?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, very circusy.
Mm-hmm. So see, it's very...
Yeah, I don't actually think it's that weird though.
Really?
Really.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that drum sounds really nice. I'm glad we went with the live version on this one.
Okay. So it's like really crazy just how she's just able to bounce between different emotional extremes.
Yes, for sure. I love how performative she is too with her body.
Yeah. Especially for being confined in a cage.
Right, she's doing a lot
Yeah.
with a very little amount of space. I wish the subtitles were
Yeah, that's
for
the
the whole
bummer.
thing.
Yeah. All right.
I have thoughts, for sure. Okay.
What are your thoughts?
Care to guess what my least favorite musical genre is?
What?
Jazz.
Jazz.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there was a lot of jazzy bits in
A
there.
lot of jazzy bits. Okay.
I found that more offensive than I found any kind of like weird sound to it. I just
Okay.
don't like jazz. It's not my sound. It doesn't do anything for my ears. And that was a very jazzy piece. That being said, while I didn't enjoy the song, I still really liked hearing it and watching it. She just does so many cool things, man. Like, I think I said this in the last video, but like the way that she can seamlessly transition between full on like dirty vocal screaming to like a huge belted high note that's beautiful and graceful is
Yeah.
insane. Like,
Yeah.
these are not easy vocals that she's pulling off here. Like, just like the cadence in which she sings, the variance in her tone, like she's doing so many technically difficult things vocally here.
Yeah.
And she's doing it live. And it I even like just remembering that she has to like do these crazy vocal things here and there. There's so much going on with her vocal performance in there.
Yeah.
And it seems effortless. And it's a lot. So I loved her vocal performance. It's always amazing hearing her voice. She's truly gifted in that arena, I feel.
Yeah.
No, I didn't like the song, but I just don't know that it really mattered because it was still like sometimes you know how if you go to a show and you're watching an artist you don't know and you don't know these songs and it's really boring for you and you're just kind of having to like grin and bear it until you see the band you actually want to see.
Sure, yeah.
Well, like, if I was watching her and not knowing any of her songs, I'd be captivated. Because she's captivating.
Yeah.
And the way she performs, I'm really glad we did the live version of this. I don't know if it would have been as impactful if we'd done the studio recording.
So technically, that was my first time watching the live video. And I would agree with you. The studio version was very jarring for me because, you know, it wasn't even like a music video. It was just like a picture. And so I'm just sitting there listening to it. I would agree with you on like the jazz thing. I'm not a huge jazz person myself. However, I have heard jazz songs that I do like. Like I'm a huge like Cowboy Bebop fan, and the band that plays that music is the Seatbelts, and Yoko Kanno is a masterful composer, and she made amazing jazz music with that. And that's pretty much the only jazz I've ever listened to that I'm like, I love that.
Yeah.
This wouldn't be like the type of jazz that I would be into either, because I remember my experience on the studio version, and it was just like switching back and forth between opposite extremes of different emotional states, and all I could sit there and think about was like, wow, whoever had to like compose this and write this, like, and like actually have to mix this thing, this is like a logistical nightmare, like because it's everywhere, but it somehow is like this controlled chaos. And
Controlled chaos is a really good word for what that was.
yeah, and of all the things, she's probably the most tame thing about the music. Like just musically, it's just that, to me, the live version actually sounds maybe a tiny bit more tame than what the studio version sounded like.
Interesting. Okay.
The studio version, you know, it's been a while since I've heard it, but I do remember just it being just so chaotic, and I'm just like, holy crap, because you're really hearing everything in that studio version. But like you said, like she just somehow sings to it and makes it work. You know, like if I can't imagine having that song thrown at me and then me going, so what do I do with that? You know, so, but she somehow picks that up and just knocks it out. That's actually a better outcome than I thought for you.
Listen, I listen to K-pop. I am well aware. And it's funny that we just watched NCT Sticker, because I feel like there's a commonality there in terms of like weird sounds that you don't really expect to go together.
Today's a weird day for us.
Yeah. So that's not really jarring for me, because
Really?
I live in that space in K-pop, right? Like there's a lot of groups in K-pop that not necessarily to that extent and not to that level of artistry. Because that was, even though I didn't like it, it's artful. Like that's like not really disputable. But you know, it's if you can handle it in one thing, you can handle it in another, I feel like. And I don't feel like she did anything too off the wall there. Yeah. Like too like, oh, I can't. That's craziness. You know what I mean?
It's interesting you said that, because I said the almost pretty much the exact same thing back to her when she showed me something from K-pop that was supposed to be really like controversial, or at least just very polarizing in their community because of how weird it sounded. And when I heard it, I was like, well, compared to, you know, what I've heard Otto do, like that, this feels like a walk in the park for me. So
we did kind of mirror each other's comments on
that,
for
sure. So that's awesome that you feel the same way on this end of the spectrum. So
the one thing I will say, because just I think about these things, first of all, the lyrics are really great. What I could read of them.
Like, that's the other thing too. She loves lyrics.
I do.
And that video did not transcribe the lyrics very well to us at all.
Yeah. The ones that it did though were beautiful. Like very just like angsty, and I love angsty, and I think she did a really good job delivering that feeling, that emotion with her vocal.
Okay.
But one thing I was thinking about, because I have this problem with like another artist I listen to, Ani DeFranco, you cannot sing along to a song like that. It's not possible. And not just because it's vocally hard, but because it's like almost unpredictable.
That's like, a good point. I've never thought of
like because I love to sing along with songs. It's like one of my favorite things to do, but I wouldn't be able to sing along with that just because like I'm like my brain, like I couldn't retain that much information in my brain.
You would sound like a crazy person.
100%.
If all of a sudden I was just like, what am I hearing? And
you wouldn't want to hear it. I wouldn't want to hear it. But like, you know, but she does this live over and over again. She retains all the information, and it's beautiful.
Okay, do you have a rating for that?
I don't know. I don't think a rating on this one is fair. We're gonna do 2 ratings.
Okay.
The first rating is gonna be like for my digestibility.
Okay.
It's like a 4. I wouldn't listen to the song again.
Okay.
Because I didn't enjoy the song. Would I watch the live performance again? Yes, I would. But I think I need that component to make it more palatable. But I also recognize how technically perfect it was, how technically advanced it was. So like on like I respect it. I think it's super beautifully and well crafted. It's like a 9.
You hear that, guys?
Yeah.
That's a 9.
I
okay.
respect the fuck out of it. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
But it's not like, sometimes you hear songs and you're like, well, that's just a trash song. Like, I get absolutely nothing out of that. I still got a fuck ton out of this, even though I didn't like the song.
Yeah.
So
That's kind of like where I had to come with it too. Whenever I first heard it, it was just like, okay, this is not really something I would listen to like on multiple times, but there's still a lot of other things to chew on where I'm just like, wow, there's a lot of really cool stuff in there though. So it's just interesting how we can view this art or listen to this art and be able to like pull the things we need out of it that connect with us, but also still be like, it's like, probably wouldn't want to experience the whole thing again, but still I got some nuggets out of it that I think have value to it. My expectations were like, I thought this was gonna be a lot worse. So because like I know generally like what Mal likes, and I was kind of afraid about this one, but I was like, you know what, you guys asked for it, let's just do it, like screw it. And so this is actually a lot better than I expected. So I think we're doing good here. So okay, let's go ahead and check out the next one.
all right. This is already so much more my jam. Oh, we still got some weird shit going on.
This is my favorite part.
I would agree with what I've heard thus far. We were just talking about Franken songs. I feel like this is one.
Really? Okay. I love this beat too.
Yeah, it's really good, for sure. If this isn't a Franken song, I don't know what is.
There's some Halloween elements in there too. Right?
Oh, the video is fantastic.
Okay.
Man, this woman just always takes us on a little bit of a journey, doesn't she? It's a roller coaster of things going on here. I was nervous at the start because I did not like the intro, like the first verse. The first verse, I was like, because that like Middle Eastern kind of sound is not for me. But then when we got to the clapping bit, I'm like, okay, like, and then we kind of, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was so much fun. I think this is one that would benefit from multiple listens. I don't think I could possibly get the full scope of this because there was so much going on with just one listen.
Yep.
And it's another one that would benefit. Like, I think we got a really good picture of the sound just from how we have it, but like headphones in, this would be like an acid trip, right? So
Yeah.
like her vocals, man, she does the craziest shit vocally, and it's just, it all sounds so pristine and flawless. And I think this is the first, it is the first studio recording of hers that I've heard.
Okay. Yep.
So when I can see like what she can accomplish with her vocals, with like the production and mixing and whatever behind it, like that's just impressive. She does so much, and vocally, like it's interesting. Like she does interesting things with her voice that I think a lot of artists don't think to, or maybe don't dare to do in a traditional performance. I feel like her vocal performances are always very like, always. I've seen 3 songs, but you know what I mean. They're all brave. They're just outside the norm, and I really like that. But like Ratatas too, or super. She has a lot of things in there vocally that are satisfying. Like you hear them and you go, "Let's go!" Like it's just really, it feels good. You know what I mean? And I think this song, out of every song that you've shown me thus far, is probably the most comparable to like a K-pop song that I would. So yeah, it's up my alley. Like I definitely enjoy this one. And I liked that it switched. I don't know what the word is. It's because not genre switching, but that it switched like moods so often in the, I can't think of a better word to describe it.
So not tempo, but like.
Not tempo, but like the vibe would change kind of drastically between different sections of the song. But it was like you were saying with Sticker, it didn't feel out of place. It felt cohesive still. It all belonged in one song together, even though the sounds were very different.
Yeah, the momentum was always going forward, even between transitions, because like because it's always like this constant
driving
beat, and then it would go into the clapping bits.
But the clapping bits are the best part of that song, hands down.
Yeah, and I if I had any criticism, I would just be like, can we go back into that like one more time?
They do, there wasn't quite enough for sure.
I need it one more time. Yeah. 3/4 into that, maybe after the second chorus or whatever, and get me back into there, because like that's absolutely like there's a couple other parts too, like whenever they actually do incorporate a bit more of like a hip hop beat into, like they slow down, they do a tempo change, and then they like go like halftime into the chorus, and then like completely change the vibe of that too. So like it's like they take one idea and then they like break it down into like 4 or 5 different ideas, and like and then give you different mood, like those mood changes between there. So I think you kind of we're onto something there. And then she's very creative with her voice. She kind of sees a space where she can play in, and then she just goes for it. And a lot of like tongue rolls and everything, and playing around with that, and just being more percussive with her voice with certain things. And you're probably starting to catch on now in terms of like whenever she does her screams, like what that always comes out as. It's kind of like
it's a very distinct sound. It's very hers.
Yeah, it's like her little like formulaic, kind of her way of belting things out. Yeah. And where she can kind of go from something really soft to just all of a sudden, screech into that realm. It's just really amazing how she is able to come up with all these ideas and like fill this space.
Well, so that was one thing I was wondering, like in terms of like the stylistic choices she's making with her vocal performances, are these like all her brainchild, or does she have someone there like saying, do this fucking weird tongue thing and imitate a fucking ratata or whatever? Like, I wonder, because it feels like almost necessarily must be wholly hers.
I've asked this question at different eras, I think, of her discography whenever I run into certain songs, and usually the answer is that it's her. And I
would believe that.
And I'll sometimes ask if like she has a vocal coach, and I'm sure she had one at some point, but she's probably now at a point where she probably doesn't really need one so much.
Yeah. Because she's like just a seasoned veteran at this point.
Yeah, and so I think that's also part of like what's so amazing about her, especially like where she started from and now she's here, and like and then for her to be able to just instinctively know what to do, when to do it, coming from that background is like crazy. That takes like a lot of musical intuition
Oh, for sure.
And assuming she only had so much instruction to begin with.
Right.
So,
she's a very intelligent performer. And I don't feel like that's something, not that, you could just be vocally excellent and that's great and perfect in its own right. But like, there's just a little something extra that she does in addition to being technically perfect. There's a big brainness to her performance.
She's very intelligent in that regard. She just really understands her own range, what she can and can't do. Which there isn't a whole lot.
I was about to say, I'm not entirely sure if there's anything she couldn't do if she wanted to, but...
Right, but she just has a very good understanding.
I guess she can be a baritone.
Yeah, I have no idea, to be honest, what she would qualify as. But like she's just very aware of her tools.
Her strengths.
Yeah.
And she plays off of them. Expertly.
Yeah, and then just the other side of it is just, when you look at her discography so far, whether it's a cover or something that's original, like she just covers so much different ground. I almost feel like she just literally just challenges herself. I wouldn't even surprise me if she gets bored easily.
I could see that.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, well, we did this, what's next?
Yeah.
And regardless of whether it's a genre that's popular or not, I think she doesn't care and will just do it just because she can. Where do you ever see that? And we have artists here that are very versatile as well, but not quite to the point where they'll just do anything, Yeah. And because they probably understand what their own limitations are. And Otto just appears to not have so much of that. I know some people in the community just absolutely hate when we put K-pop and J-pop in the same sentence together. Because we do know that they are different and they have very distinct sounds.
Do they? I'm pretty sure they're not. I think they might be carbon copies of each other. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I said.
She's funny. So we're gonna die. You're gonna get us killed. Anyway, let me stop turning red here.
You're red. You're red.
I know, because you're so fucking funny.
It's a curse.
Yeah, I know. Just all the talents and things you have. It must be difficult. What was I even saying?
Oh, no. Oh, they get mad when we...
Right. Like, me now, guys. Like, I'm not even, like, that savvy to K-pop at this juncture. But from what she has shown me, I hear very, very small, very small similarities. And they were kind of apparent in this particular song because K-pop does involve a lot of dance music. And this is a dance song. So
with experimental sounds.
Sure. Yeah. But still very much, like, I can still very much see and hear, like, this is Japanese, and like.
Well, I think her vocal's a big part of that, right? Like,
for sure.
That is not a vocal you get in K-pop. It just isn't.
Yeah, it's as far as what I've heard in K-pop, it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
So still very much distinct sounds, but I think it's more instrumentally, if anything. There were like just very few elements instrumentally that reminded me of K-pop, in particular like the clapping part.
The rapping part also really.
Some of the rapping part, because there has been some K-pop stuff where it kind of incorporates that crowd interaction.
Things can be similar without losing their identity or being consumed by the shadow of something else. When we make these comparisons, it's because that's my background, that's my basis, my foundation. It's all I have to compare to. So it's, I think it's just an easy way to, explore and dissect these songs when I have something I can call back to.
Yeah, it's not coming from a place where you're trying to take.
It's not disrespectful.
Yeah, you're not trying to take from one thing and get to another. You're just saying, hey, like, I've heard this sound sort of before, and it kind of reminds me of this. Right. And it's if anything, it's more of like an endearing thing. If anything.
Sure. I mean, it's like, obviously, like, K-pop is my love, my life, right? So like, if I'm saying like I hear this and it reminds me of, that's a good thing. It means.
Yeah. If she's away from home and something reminds her of her home, that's usually a good thing, right? So otherwise, then like, when we get into other parts of J-pop, it's vastly different,
Sure.
And just like I'm sure like K-pop has maybe some vastly different things too.
Speaking of which, I'd love to hear some J-rock.
We can get to that. So anyway, guys, so rating.
This one's I'm gonna go a little bit conservatively like you did with Sticker,
Okay.
simply because this is a multiple listener room to grow. So it's gonna be like I'll give it like a 7.8 as well, like you did with Sticker, just because it is good, but it's gonna get better, and I can feel that.
Yeah, and this isn't like a super deep song, you know.
Yeah. No, but that's okay. Like sometimes fun party songs are what you need.
Yeah, and
so.
And it would be amazing to see this girl like out and about and listening to like an auto like party song, you know. So I think that's a really good compliment.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think for me on this, I didn't rate it last time because I never did ratings. So
we like to put things in a box here.
I want to say 8.5 for me on this one. This is really fun.
I can see it getting up to there after multiple listens.
Yeah, it's really fun. There's just
Very fun.
There's a few elements that I want to keep hearing over and over again. And yeah, I think even like the small criticisms that you had about it, I think I kind of have the same ones. I'm not a huge fan of those types of melodies. But that was just a very small part of the song. So like
that's why I said I was nervous at first because that was a really like dominant sound to begin with, but then we transitioned away.
We transitioned away, and you know,
and then lots of things happened. Yeah.
So 8.5 for me, 7.8 for you. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. So I hope you enjoyed the reaction. Let us know what to check out next if there's anything auto related or anything else. We'll see you guys later.